One night at Birdling's flat, I met a bloke called Reg Wakefield. He was on one side of the drain, I was on the other. Never knew him before in my life. And we talked about building the meeting house. Years earlier, Waitai and that were in their teenage years, and they wanted to raise money to build a meeting house. We had the Hokianga family here. They started fundraising. They put money together. They had the Ackroa people involved. Hopkeef had a meeting house in Mohaka, and they built a new one up there. What he wanted to do, he wrote up to them and asked, could I get that old meeting house and ship it down to Ōnuku and build the meeting house down here with it? They says no. They said you can't bring that building down here because your children are not here. So then it sort of had a 20-year slump.
The first building here was in the mid-80s, and prior to that, any tangihanga that was held at Ōnuku basically was held at one of the two houses that still exist here.
When we first started talking about it, they did talk, the old people did talk about it. Then we had a tangi.
We had a tangi of my brother-in-law, John Whakaro. We had it at my place in Ackroa.
And, we got snowed out there. We had snow on the ground, first time in Ackroa, they had snow.
And it just ruined the whole house. The grounds were ruined.
And let's build some bloody thing, let's build something, let's do it. Other people are doing it.
And we decided from that day on that we were going to build something here, a meeting house.
So all of that time, over the period of the discussions and debate about the Marae being built here, I didn't quite realise this, but I was the treasurer and part-time fundraiser before anything was put onto this land.
Yeah, we were out here when the building was going up.
I'm sort of caretaker of the ground. I look after the Marae ground. I was one of the first people to put the foundation or get all prepared for the dining room.
We had to raise money to buy this land for a start. So we had the small committee when we started here.
So we started fundraising. Tara and them used to make cream sponges. We'd sell them in Ackroa.
Cake stalls outside the Four Square.
Pig in the barra, around the streets and that, and run different hungries.
We fundraised with the Lions Club. They put 7,000 towards it.
Which was a big plus in those days.
I think we got up to $21,000.
The Marae Affairs, there was a bloke in there called Dick Stevens. He said, we do the dollar for dollar scheme. So we ended up with 40,000 to start on this building.
Got enough to buy the land, and then it was all work.
The Rouse family, they sold us that block of land for Marae. You give it to us cheap.
This place here where we're sitting there, it was all covered in gorse, big boulders, broom, and Bruce Road. He had access to the council, big excavator and that. And we cleaned all the site right off, the whole lot.
The first thing was the wharikai. We had our own builders.
They were block layers, window people.
Phil Winakare was the builder, and he brought along our young builders from here.
Pulling everybody together, that was the hardest part, trying to get everybody together. Once we got them all together, it was good.
What we did with the plan, they were building sharing sheds. And what we did, we'll buy one of them bloody things, and we won't have the sides, we'll just have the roof on, and that's what we did.
When the plans were drawn up, they had the toilets on the wrong side.
Building inspector said, the toilet's on the wrong side. No, you're reading the plan. We're telling the building inspector you're reading the plan. We lifted it up.
Phil turned the map upside down like this.
Up there, we had to read the plan up from looking uphill.
So we went with the plan for the wharikai like that, with it upside down. So we built it, and we laid the whole floor over the Christmas period, but we hadn't had the okay from the engineers from Christchurch. Bruce, he was standing on the concrete floor. It went into the Saturday's press. that the floor had been finished. I got a bit of a bollocking from the engineers,
Yeah, we had a little fun there.
but they let us away with that. But don't let it happen again. We hadn't even had the building finished. We only had the sides up, and whānau was Shane Tainui. They put the roof on, didn't have any windows in, and then the Governor General come for a visit. So we had our first kai in there with the windows still open. We got through it. You know, that was the start.
I was very fortunate that people here elected me as their first Ngāi Tahu Treaty rep. My role, I suppose, in the early days was to help my people, to help get started, building a whare tūpuna and building a new whare kai.
When we come to looking at the meeting house after that,
Someone said, oh, well, let's build a meeting house. You know, well, Christ almighty. You fixed one door and now they want to build a meeting house. And yeah, we started from there. And
I met Reg Wakefield one night at the lake at Birdling's flat, and he said, well, you better come and see me, boy. He said, I've got all the peninsula whakapapa, which he was given, and that's what Uncle Reg's done. He was the whakapapa man. He'd given the whakapapa from all the families around the peninsula. We spent 10 years putting the names to that house together. They wrote stories on who they wanted in our whare. All of the stories were carved into the po.
We didn't have any monies from the Treaty of Waitai. They didn't have any at the
We
time.
raised about 80,000 for the house.
we applied to the Lotto grant
The lodge was bought and put in 86,000.
to build what we got there.
I was very blessed to partake in weaving the tukutuku panels for Ōnuku.
It was both Morahu and I's pleasure to be involved. My relation, Kath, she was asked to oversee the weaving of the tukutuku panels. When Kath asked me to be involved, of course, I loved going to Ōnuku. Kath, she was an all-rounder to me. She was a sports person, school teacher.
She was an exemplary teacher because she exuded this love for weaving. She went to most of the Rūnangas. Te Ahuriri was certainly involved. Certainly Rapaki with you there, Auntie. And all of them.
The whare took 2 years from 1995 to 97. She wanted the involvement of all marae.
Everybody got together to awhi. She just made it happen and away everybody went. The work got done. It was awesome.
Nature gave her the inspiration for what she wove and how she wove.
The actual process was about the kai that was in the moana that surrounds Ōnuku Marae and be within the heart of Ōnuku. She done a beautiful job. It was meticulously done, like her work is always.
I loved being with my relation Pere. We were mates.
So all the timber had to come from the
We
coast.
had our local builders from here, local carvers.
Irakehu, up North Island, he was the master carver.
He used a chainsaw, had the plans in his head, and he just read the stories that I'd written up and Reg and I had written up. It's done Ngāi Tahu style because we're still using the Pōnami chisel. So just before the opening, Reg said to me, he said, boy, there's always a sacrifice when a meeting house is built. Someone passes on. And I said, oh, gee. I said, no, that won't happen. And just before the opening, Reg passed away. That was something I couldn't really take in, you know. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be here. Our meeting house is called Tarewa.
Later on, they decided it was the dining room. got adequate enough to have to build a new one.
My cousin Ricky fell into getting resources to build this whare kai that we see here today.
Oh, kia ora. Look, I'm Rick Tainui, and I did get called into the project. I thought it was maybe time I came back and contributed something. So I did come home. I soon realised that we needed a new drinking water system. We needed a whole lot of other things that required money. I put in, I think, 11 funding applications and 9 were successful. The different families that whakapapa Te Rūnanga was quite challenging. The Tainuis, the Robinsons, the Tikaos and all the others. We ended up, after lots of discussion and lots of debate, we were able to raise nearly $5 million to rebuild our whare kai. We hosted many of Ngāi Tahu's significant events, and so our whare kai needed to be big enough so that we wouldn't have to put marquees up the front or at the side. I'm incredibly proud of the many Ōnuku whānau that contributed, because now we have an amazing new whare kai, Emilia Puhurere. With the design, the whare kai currently seats inside around 200 people. Our kaimahi, it is amazing. I think you'll see us use that kitchen commercially to create new work. I think now that we have the new whare kai, I think everyone's really, really happy with the outcome. We have an amazing place.
My dad, he loved that place. He loved the kai, which is Ōnuku now. He was brought up there, he wasn't born there, but he lived most of his life there. He was into the whānau, help whānau, work with whānau, but his main ambition was to build a marae. He could see then what the future was for that place. So they were about at least 3/4 of the way in the whare nui when he passed, and all he wanted to do was be alive for the opening, but what he's seen and what was done, that's how he wanted it. Now, he'd be pleased. He would be. Marae's perfect. For what it was to what we've got now, it just makes me happy going home. It does. Right? It's unreal.
I was 10 when we moved out here. It was a blessing that we got a part of it. We got a part of that life, and it was the best part of my life. I'd love to live back out here. I'd love to build back around the corner. Looking back now, I think, you just don't, it didn't mean a great deal to me back then. Now, loving every bit of it, everything takes its place. All to do with timing.
It's great that we have a marae here. It's great that we've got a place to come to.
And we'll all put our stamp on it to show people we own it. We are.
Been really good for people wanting to come back here.
But now that we've got something they can come back to look at.
We want this place working so our kids can just stay here and have their own work. We watch the Canterbury Cat Dolphin Watch go past here every day. Should have been us doing that. We've done nothing on this harbour, but now we want to start doing something for our kids. Everything's here,
It's just a great feeling that we can go on most of the marae around here and have that footing, that we're welcome to come onto our own marae, and I think that's great.
We're all part of the big whānau, so come home now and again. Catch up.
There is traditions that need to be carried on, and we need our young people to pick up so that they too can pass it on to their children.
All our people, at any time they want to come back home, the new areas that we've built is here to rejoice in, to use as we celebrate in. We've all got to be so proud that we ended up with our whānau joined together. That's why I strongly love being part of it. The pain and the work that went on for this marae was for our children and their children after. So I'm proud of that, because this whole place now belongs to those children. We are but part of them, but they are the future.